I'm not over yet.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mario back at with another video. Today we'll be checking out Jordan, Wilt, and Bill Russell. Gonna be discussing who the GOAT is. In my opinion, when it comes to the GOAT debate, I don't really pay attention to stuff like that anymore, like who the GOAT is, everything, because I feel like this is just my opinion. When it comes to the GOAT, everybody just says Jordan, LeBron. In my opinion, it should be more people in the GOAT combo, like for example, like Kareem, everything. But yeah, and so on. So I feel like when it comes to the GOAT combo, I think it's just the people that you like. You know what I'm saying? It goes by who your favorite is. I don't think it's fair in a sense. So, but that's just my opinion. Everybody just says Jordan, LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's Kareem? Where's Duncan? You know what I'm saying? So, but I just feel like Kareem should be in the conversation. That's just my opinion. But the thing is, with him, he has his thing is his game is kind of to people's mind it's boring and looks easier for big men to score. That's what it looks like. Versus like Jordan, LeBron is like more flashy. That's why I think when you're tall, everything they just think everybody thinks it's like it's easy everything. So, but you gotta realize too, centers they backing down other centers. You going up against another giant. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think in Kareem's case, is he's people put him like top three everything, of course, but I feel like he's not really talking about the GOAT combo and shit like that. But yeah, I just feel like when it comes to GOAT conversation, I think it's basically based on people's feelings, everything. And in my opinion, when it comes to like GOAT combos, like who you think is the GOAT, you gotta put your feelings aside. Just because you like that person, most of the time, that doesn't mean you gotta admit if somebody's better than somebody else. But I just feel like it's just people like that person so much that when you hear somebody's better than that person, you get offended and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just my opinion. So yeah, but we're gonna dive on into the GOAT debate, see what Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, and Jordan have to say. But before we dive on in, make sure I give this video a thumbs up too. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to your boy. So let's dive on in. I'm doing this video 1 in the morning, so yeah, if I look tired, you know why. Yeah, it's 1 in the morning, man. And plus, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain.
I mean, listen, I know that basketball is a team game.
Right.
And you've already made Michael number one. But if you had to have Will against Michael, my prime and his prime, how much money would you be willing to bet? Wow.
We're at the NBA all-time team celebration, Cleveland.
He said in his prime versus Jordan's prime, how much money you willing to bet? Damn. He talking like that, bro. Sheesh.
1997. And over in the corner is Wilt and Michael Jordan. And they're sitting at a table arguing vociferously as to who the greatest player of all time is. And they're back and forth. And just intense as can be. And so now David Stern comes into the room. And he says, okay, guys, time to go. And Michael and Wilt are still going at it at this table over here. And so David finally says, come on, Wilt, Michael, we got to get going. And so they stand up. And Wilt, who always has the last word in everything, Wilt looked down at Michael and said, Michael, just remember, when you played, they changed all the rules to make it easier for you to dominate. When I played, they changed all the rules to make it harder for me. And there was no retort, no comeback. Wilt Chamberlain, oh my gosh.
I wonder if you care about being called the greatest basketball player ever. Does that matter? Do you want that?
I don't want it in a sense because I think it disrespects Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, all the guys that prior to me I never had a chance to play against. When I hear it, I cringe a little bit because it's a little bit embarrassing because no one knows, I never had the chance to once again to play against those guys. You know, I would love to have played against them, but I never did. You know, and for you to say that I'm better than him, I mean, it's your opinion. You know, it's their opinion. I accept that as their opinion. If you ask me, I would never say that I'm the greatest player. You know, and that's because I never played against all the people that represented the league prior to Michael Jordan.
The greatest player of modern.
That's respect. I like that answer. That's respect. You know, it disrespects every other player. He hasn't played against Bill Russell. He hasn't played against Wilt. He hasn't played against, you know, Pete Maravich or Oscar. That's a great way to answer that question. To be honest, that was a pretty good answer. The way he said it.
Times is largely considered to be Michael Jordan. Have you had any interaction with him?
Yes, I think he's a great player, and I have the ultimate regard for him. He says to me one time, we were out in the middle of the golf course, he says, they just won a championship, okay? He says, you know, we're going to go up your record. I said, which one? I said, well, you know, we won 11, but we won 8 straight. I don't think you'll live long enough to get either one of those. He says, but it's easy to win championships when you play. And so I said, well, think about it this way. When I was a rookie, there were 80 jobs in professional basketball. So a lot of good players didn't make that. Mm-hmm. I said, there were only 12 teams. You couldn't have won that championship. He said, why? I said, because, facts, he hit his open shot. Won the game. Well, if there were 12 teams in the league, he couldn't have made that shot. He said, why not? I said, because he'd been up in the stands. And there's not a knock on him. That's to talk about the quality of the NBA.
I picked him as the #1 center of all time as far as concerned because he was a complete basketball player.
Over you?
Well, you know, yeah, I'm gonna pick him over me right now.
Really?
Yeah, because he also helped his team to win a lot more than maybe I could have helped my team to win. Sometimes the mere power of you makes you more individualistic. I have said this before. Wilt Chamberlain and the Boston Celtics might not have been the same because I was taken away from Bob Cousy, from Tom Heinsohn, because I was a scorer too. And then all of a sudden now they had to pass the ball to me and never take something away from them. So, you know, sometimes less is better. You know, so that's how I view it. But I'm talking about the fact that the man could score. He averaged 17 points a game, which is only about 7 points less than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know, he was the supreme rebounder. He got the ball for his team, which made happen. He's high in assists, and we all know how he played defense. You can't ask for any more from that position. So he's my choice.
Who doesn't sit here and think, what if? You know, I'm pretty sure Bill Russell's sitting there, what if he played in the era that we played in? And, you know, I'm no different than, you know, what if I played in this era? I mean, financially, it'd be different, but I think from a competitive standpoint, I think it would be a lot different. I mean, not that, you know, playing against Magic, Bird, Barkley, you know, Ewing, all those years wasn't fun, I think. But I'm pretty sure those guys, along with myself, wish that, you know, we could have played against, you know, the Kobe Bryants of this era and Tim Duncans, and, you know, obviously, you know, we feel like we can compete.
You, Michael Jordan, Wilt, you have to pick one person. Who do you pick?
Well, you pick Bill Russell. For the reason,
I heard this line.
he will never distort your defense or your offense. And I played games in my peak where I had 6 shots. I could close down the whole front court. The way I play, my team wins.
Nah, this was a good video, man. Wow. Just hearing everybody's pretty humble when it comes to the GOAT combo, which is like, you know, well, except for like, you know, him and Jordan Wilt was going at it, everything. Besides, like, you know, Wilt was saying how Bill Russell is the GOAT. Like how Jordan was saying, you know, it disrespects everyone else, everything. The P Maravich, like I said, Bill Russell, because he hasn't played with, he hasn't versed them, everything. But me, in my opinion, again, it was always, it's always cool to like hear people's opinions, like who the GOAT combo is. But as time goes on, I just feel like there's just, when it comes to the GOAT combo, it's, man, I really don't. I feel like it should be more people in the GOAT combo. That's just my opinion. It's like, again, I feel like your feelings to that person, you have feelings for that person. Like when it comes to like your favorite player, you get so attached to that player that is like, you don't want nobody else to be in that combo. Like, put your feelings aside for that person and actually give a person credit. You know what I'm saying? So, whether their game is boring or whether their game is, whether they're tall or not, like, you have to give them credit where credit is due. You know what I'm saying? So that's my opinion. I feel like the Go combo is kind of biased in a sense sometimes, but that's just my opinion. But if you go by a Go combo, like best positions, I think that's fine too. Like, who's the best center, who's the best shooting guard, best point guard, because each position is different. You can't compare a center to shooting guard. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I just feel like when it comes to Go combo, it's a little bit biased sometimes. So in my opinion, I feel like other people should be in the Go combo, but that's just my opinion. I know everybody else's opinions is different, so that's why I don't really talk about the Go conversation. You know, I just watch the game and just appreciate greatness, to be honest, because LeBron, is still playing at 40, everything, and we got the next guy coming up, so yeah, just appreciate greatness, man. Just appreciate uh greatness. But or what people do, I heard it was somebody that was saying, you could do like who's the GOAT in that generation. You know what I'm saying? You could do that too. So I think that's cool. But to say GOAT conversation and when it comes to like everyone, everything, it's just the GOAT combo. In my opinion, I think it's just like you just, for what I just hear from people, it's just like yeah, you gotta give certain people credit and everything. So, but hey, listen, yeah, I don't really talk about GOAT combos anymore. I just appreciate greatness. So yeah, but this was a good video. Let me know down in the comments what are your thoughts on the GOAT conversation in the NBA. Do you think they have it right? Is it LeBron or Jordan? Do you think other people should be in the GOAT conversation, or you just like, hey, just appreciate greatness? Just watch the game, just appreciate greatness, everything. Let me know down in the comments. And let me know down in the comments too what you want to see next. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the boy. Have a good day. Stay safe. I'll see you on the next video. Deuces.